Hey Savvy parents, you want to set your kids up for a great financial future? I got a tip for you. In today's video, we're going to be looking at why you should add your kids as an authorized user on your credit card to help really build and establish that credit. Stay tuned for some of these tips because you're going to be impressed with how early you can actually start building credit for your kids. When they hit the age of 18, they can already have a well-established credit score. Welcome to Furry Hippo Finance. We make you financially savvy. Having a well-established credit really can build your financial future with your children as well as yourself. It is very important when we start getting into the teen years, when you start getting into the young adults. Being financially independent teaches the kids about the responsibility of money and also the utilization of credit. Now, this is one point where with over 50 million high school kids right now, there is roughly 76% that are looking for additional financial education, most of it looking for their parents because it is not taught in school. Adding them as an authorized user is someone who can kind of copy your credit score and copy your payment history. You, as the primary card holder, are responsible for the charges, responsible for paying the bills, but the authorized user has the ability to swipe the card, but is not held liable for this. Now, letting your kids run around with credit cards is not my best advice, but this is actually how you can start building and really benchmarking the fundamentals of what it means to be an adult and also knowing the limits and knowing what you can spend. For parents and legal guardians, adding an authorized user is incredibly easy, and sometimes there is additional perks for it. You can get bonus points, there are welcome offers, you can get statement credits, there are lounge access. A lot of cards do offer a lot of benefits, especially if you're buying things. In addition, guys, if your kids are looking to travel, this is another part. They can actually have a card that they can utilize themselves, which I know in the financial system, we've seen this where a lot of it doesn't really cater the younger or the high school generation. It is more the later in life or the well-established. So let's look at some of the advantages of adding your kid as an authorized user. Number one, you can start building the credit file. This is huge, guys. I have seen people that are 18 years old get their credit pulled. They have a 700 plus credit score, which is A or A plus credit right off the bat. Now remember, even though it is very limited credit based on the authorized user, financial institutions lend on score. Let me say that again, guys. The financial institutions lend on score. So if you're coming in pulling credit, very minimal credit because you are only an authorized user on dad's credit card, mom's credit card, whatever, you come back with a 750 score, they're going to give you the best rate regardless of what your credit history looks like. Because of the pull, you are going to get the best rate, which again can set you really up for financial success. This goes both ways. However, good credit, good activity, good behavior from your parents will carry over. Bad activity does the exact same thing, guys. So if your parents are very irresponsible with the credit card, it can negatively affect the child's credit as well. This is the reason why you really have to rely on the parents being exceptionally hard. When it comes to the credit scores, they have to be very, very disciplined with it. Now, having a card on your own also helps children to manage expenses while still under the protection of the parents. This is absolutely 100% something that I recommend for your kids. This is the time when they get the habits and they get the behaviors and the spending behaviors for the rest of your life. That is one of the really big things. Every dollar your authorized user spends will earn the same points, same miles, same things of that nature. So as long as, remember, two things, guys. Number one, you're making a purchase on the card. Number two, you're paying it off and paying it off in full to keep that capacity down to a zero. Now, there are some age requirements, so check with your lender, whoever your card's through, to see exactly what the requirements are. But a majority of them are, there is no age, such as Bank of America, Capital One, and Chase. There is no age that you can add a authorized user on your card. For some of them, like American Express, Barclays, US Bank, 13 years of age. So again, looking a little bit further down the line, but when you're building credit from age 13 all the way to 18, that is going to be an incredible amount of credit. Now, in addition, there are some that do not report to the credit bureaus until you hit 16 or until you hit 18. So again, you're going to have to see exactly who your card is through and who is going to be used for it and how and when it does report, guys. These are very important questions to ask your financial institution before you add them on, or if you can add them on. Now, in addition, there are a lot that do require a child to be 18. In my opinion, if you're waiting till 18, they can establish credit on their own. They're not going to be riding off of your credit as an authorized user. This could ultimately result in a much later progression or much later credit behaviors and habits in life. Now, there are, of course, a couple things to remember as an authorized user. Number one, the fraud aspect of it. Do you have the ability to set a spending limit on a card? Do you have the ability to freeze the card? So if your 13-year-old kid goes out with their friends, has that credit card in the hand, are they going to be responsible for holding on to it, using it, responsible for the purchases? And what happens if they lose it? Because what can happen is, let's say you have 2, 3, 4 cards cards issued. If you're blocking out one card, sometimes it can block out more cards, or if they think there's fraudulent activity on the account, they can actually block it out for a multitude of reasons. In addition, you're also opening the gateway to online purchases and fraud through that avenue. Biggest thing that I see right now when it comes to fraud and fraud mitigation, it is individuals that are providing personal information, which they should not be, and I do not recommend in any means, to people who are not authorized. Now, in addition, some of the credit card companies do charge an annual fee for adding authorized users, which is, again, you're gonna have to get up with your financial institution, see exactly what they charge, and see what is going to kind of get all of the details that we kind of talked about. But this gives you an opportunity, guys, to really build a credit history with your kids and build the fundamentals. In this channel, we talk a lot about the fundamentals, and I feel like that is the really big miss, where if you have parents that their credit is not A+, their credit is not B, they've had poor credit history, damaged credit, a lot of ways to rebuild it. It really does have to be a very strong focus, but a lot of those behaviors get passed on to the next generation and so on and so forth. So if you're not going in and developing the financial fundamentals in the credit habits early in life, you're going to have it for the rest of your life. A lot of people that I see also say credit cards are bad, credit cards are evil. The credit card is only a tool, guys. That is the recognition that you really do need to put into it. Credit card and a credit card account is a means to get the things you want to buy if you already have the money. Now, as a nation, we just breached last year $1 trillion in credit card debt, which means as America or Americans, we have over $1 trillion in credit card debt, which is just astronomical when it comes to the amount of debt that we're carrying, meaning that people are living above their means or they're not actually balancing a budget, the things we talk about on this channel. So when it's time to open up a credit card, again, check with the financial institution. Opening up as an authorized user is going to be a game changer. That way, when they do get into, the young adult, when they get into student loans, when they get into opening their own credit card, they're going to have their credit already established. Now, there are a few alternatives as you kind of building your children as authorized user. Number one, you can put them on a loan. Now, we have seen this for a lot of individuals that have a poor credit history, is they'll take out a small loan for about 12 months and make all 12 payments. Now, it might charge them a little bit of a higher interest rate in that 12-month period on $1,000 where you are making 12 payments. You might have to pay 50, 70, depending on the rate, dollars to get the credit score. However, guys, it is going to be a game changer if you're building up your credit score and you're actually making payments on time. To build up the credit history takes time. I have seen a lot of people that are like, you can go from a 500 score to an 800 score in 30 days. Guys, that is near impossible. I do not know fundamentally any way that that is possible as a financial counselor, as a, financial institution manager, to get your credit score that high that fast. It takes time. It takes a lot of repair work. And it's anyone that offers or talks about repairing your credit in a matter of, days, weeks, months. It takes time, guys. There's not going to be just a check you can write to have perfect credit. It takes time and effort. Now, in addition, a lot of people do get a secured card. So what a secured card is, you set aside, let's say $500. The institution gives you a $500 credit limit. It is secured by the funds you have in that account. So if you default, if you're not paying on that card, they will actually take the funds that are secured in that account, pay off the card and close it. But that you do have to be 18 years of age. So guys, I hope today's video helped a little bit about adding your kids as authorized users. If you are an individual that has A+ credit, that has very, very well-disciplined fundamentals and pay off your card every single month, it can really help your kids off when they start getting to 18, already having A+ credit, getting a lower rate on anything they want. All right, guys, so that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.